So today we're going to do sales tax, and today's date is 1/9/23. Sales tax. Does anybody know what sales tax?
No.
So when you go to the store and you want to buy, like, let's say a pair of jeans, and when you look at the price tag on the pair of jeans, it says it's $19.99, and you're like, all right, cool, $19.99. I'm gonna take my $20 bill and go pay for it. I go up to the cash register, they ring me up, and they say your total is. What would they tell me? Are they gonna tell me $19.99? No. Are they gonna tell me a higher number or a lower number? Higher number. All of a sudden, it went from $19.99 to like $21.50, and you're like, what happened? What happened? Tax. So everything that you buy is taxed, except for a couple of things, but everything is taxed. Now, I'm going to show you a website that shows you the sales tax for Santa Ana. Okay, so the sales tax in Santa Ana is 9.25%, which is one of the higher ones. So, yay, taxes. Pays for everything, though. I mean, it doesn't pay for everything. It pays for a lot of things in Santa Ana. Now, the hardest part of today's lesson, honestly, the hardest part is changing 9.25% into a decimal. So, do you guys see how there's a decimal right there? There's a decimal right there. So that's where you start. How many times do I move it? 2 times. No matter what, there's 3 numbers here. Cool. Awesome. Move it 2 times. 1, 2. What do I fill this empty space with? A 0. So this, I think, is the hardest part, is making sure that when you have a percent, you correctly use the decimal. Always move it 2 times to the front. Do you guys remember the word deep?
Oh, geez.
That tells you which way to go. All right, fantastic. All right, so so the first step is to find your tax amount. How much tax are you going to pay? Are you going to pay $1? Are you going to pay $10? Are you going to buy $20? Okay, what was our first step for discount? Does anybody remember a long time ago? We were so young back then. What was our first step for discount? Yes, thank you. So you're going to take your price and you're going to multiply it by your percent written as a decimal. This is the exact same step as discount. Multiply. This will give you your tax amount. I know. Those are emails that are coming through. So the same step as a discount. That did not change. All right. Step number 2. You're going to get your total cost. When I go to Target and they scan everything, what does a cash register person say? Your total is. So my total is. Now, what do you think what do you think my second step is? Very similar to discount. There's just one tiny difference. Yeah. You're going to take your price and you're going to add, not subtract, add your tax amount. So your answer to number 1, you're going to add it down here. This will give you your total cost. Okay? So what's our first step? Multiply. What's your second step? Add. The same thing as discount, except you don't subtract, you add. Make sense? That's why when we go to the store, everything is a little bit more expensive. All right, we okay? Everybody okay? Everybody okay? All right, let's go shopping. What should we buy? iPad costs $250. Okay, we're gonna say that the sales tax is 8%. Okay, we're gonna use a city that has about an 8%. I'm sure we're writing this down. Yay, we're back at school. We're working, and our energies are winding down. All right, first things first. 8% is what as a decimal?
0.08.
Yep. So think of the word deep. You're going to move in this direction. So here's my decimal. I'm going to move it 1 and 2. What do I put here? A 0. So this is equal to 0.08. If you type it into the calculator as 0.8, you will get a mistake. It will be wrong. Are we in the neighborhood? Is it Saturday night? All right, what's our first thing? 250 times what? No.
0.8.
Yeah. Wait. 0.08. I usually don't write the 0 here. If you do, yay you. I don't. It's still the same answer. All right, type it into your calculator. Type it into your calculator. Do it. Do it now. Snap back into it. All right. What do we get when we typed it into the calculator? 250 times 0.08 equals 20. If you get like 200 or 2,000, you're not typing in that 0.0. That's the mistake. All right, what's our second? Oh, this is called your tax amount. Tax amount.
Then you add it,
Then we add it.
which is sad.
250 plus $20. 270. All right, you're trying. Good. This will give you your total cost. So I'm going to have to pay an additional $20 just in taxes. So I have to walk in there with not $250, but $270 because I have to pay for these taxes. This happens every single day, every time you buy something. If you buy something on Amazon, they're still charging you taxes.
Is it on sale?
If it's on sale, you still pay taxes on the sale price.
Wow.
Everything except food. If I go buy a gallon of milk, a box of cereal, Pop-Tart, cookies,
Bob tarts.
loaf of bread, eggs,
I eat bread rolls.
there's no taxes. There's absolutely no taxes on food
I eat donuts.
except soda.
Do you eat
But if you go to McDonald's and they cook the food for you, then you do pay a tax. So In-N-Out charges you a tax. But if I go to the grocery store and buy a pound of apples, they're not charging me taxes on the pound of apples.
So buying at restaurants is taxed, but just buying the ingredients is no tax.
Right, because you're the one's going to cook it.
Yeah, just look it up on Google.
Yeah. If I want to buy a car, they're going to charge me tax on the car. So everything you buy, this notebook, tax. Everything you buy. So sometimes like if I'm going to buy something expensive, do I want to buy it in Santa Ana?
Do they tax commission?
Do they tax commission?
Donation.
I don't know. It's a good question. They might actually.
That's gonna be a little sad if they do.
That's why it's so expensive. All right.
I don't know, very expensive.
PS5. Stay positive, kid.
I shall do 600.
So, the PlayStation 5 cost $560. So your parents said, we're not going to buy it for you. You have to save up. So you have to save up your Christmas money, your birthday money in order to pay for your PlayStation. And by then, it will be PlayStation 6. Your sales tax, we went to an expensive city, is 9%.
So we're getting to that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more. 9.25%, Anna. It does add up, kids. It does add up. All right, first thing, 9%. What is the decimal of 9%?
Zero, wait, point,
Oh,
zero, zero, 9.
1, 2, add your 0, right? So it would be 0.09.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, so it starts in the back because there's no decimal. Move it 2 times to the front. Think of the word deep, D-E-P. Move it 2 times because there's 2 E's from a percent to a decimal. All right, step number 1. What am I gonna do for step number 1? Multiply. 560 times what?
0, 9.
All right, type it out. Type it out. Type it out. What do we get?
50.4.
50.4. This is called your tax amount. How much extra tax I'm gonna pay? I'm gonna pay $50 in taxes. $50. Imagine all the stuff you could buy for $50. No, taxes. Step number 2. We're gonna take 560.00 and we're going to add 50.40. 560 plus 50.40.
610.4.
Mm-hmm. 610.40. This is your total cost. Now, if something costs $100, let's pretend, could my tax be more than $100? No. So whatever you're buying, when you figure out this money, it can never be more than what this is. Okay, so if you get like $5,000 and you're like, wait, it just cost $500. How can this be $5,000? You did something wrong. So you can catch your mistake. This number should always be smaller than this number. They're never going to tax you more. Well, you know, things change, but they shouldn't tax you more than what it costs. Can you imagine? Terrible. All right, here we go. You'll upload this. Hopefully at the end of the period you'll have enough time. Okay, we're going to do number 1 together. Okay, in a department store, you have a dress that costs $50. The sales tax 8%. What is the total cost of the dress? First thing you have to do, and this is where, of course, this is the number 1 mistake. 8%. What is 8% written as a decimal?
0.08.
0.08. That's the number 1 thing you have to be super careful on. Okay? If you get 0.08, you're good to go as long as you're using a calculator. All right, show work. Step number 1. Take my price. What's my price? 50. So I'm going to take 50 and I'm going to multiply it by what?
0.08.
All right, use the calculator. Don't wait for us. Please use a calculator because sometimes kids don't use a calculator until the end and they start making mistakes. Okay, you typed it in. What'd you get? 4. So that's your tax amount. So whatever your answer is goes in that box right there. Okay, what's our second step? Step number 2. 50 plus 4. Very good. 54. That goes in this box. 54. Okay, so 2 simple steps, especially if you're using a calculator. First you multiply, then you're going to add. For discount, you subtract, but all of these are going to be tax. This is where you just have to go slower, making sure that this is written down correctly. Alright, I'm gonna walk around, check some of your answers in a bit. Use a calculator, show your work.